Massacre on the beat!
What's good, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Winlife podcast, where we focus on financial and personal growth. Today, I have a very special guest, fellow artist, fellow Inland Empire representative for the hip hop scene and for music and positivity in general. I would like to welcome Sade Anderson Bell, better known to the music industry as Lyrically Aware, to the show.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Definitely nice being here. Thanks for having me on. Definitely a pleasure.
Definitely. Big bless. I'm so grateful you took the time to do the podcast. I know you have a full career, music career, and your own podcast, which I got to make my way to. So, and you asked me way before I asked you. So I'm lacking, and you delivered the next week. So, that says a lot. So I just want to say, thank you. And
I know you're a very busy man with many things. I know you be with stocks and Forex and all that stuff. I know you got a whole life, so it's nothing.
Yeah, I'm lacking. I'm a not make any excuses and make my way. What's the name of the podcast again?
It's called Risk Takers
Risk
Radio.
Takers. Yep. Okay. I was trying to find it on Instagram, and I don't know why I couldn't find it.
Well, they changed the name a couple times, so I mean, it still says it. I think it goes by Risk Takers Network now.
Okay. Yeah, we'll definitely share it in the description and everything, and direct everyone over to that podcast. They on another level. They got video in theirs. They got guests in person. So it's something we could definitely aspire to over here. So, but yeah, I just wanted to pick your brain a bit, ask you some questions, and yeah, just kind of extract all the gems from you that I can and pass them along to other entrepreneurs, creatives, and just people that are trying to better themselves in life and want to use others as not just like a template, but just as an example, real life example. So, but yeah, let's get started. I do have your proper introduction, like I like to give all our guests, and then we'll jump right in. So,
all right.
Sade Anderson Bell, also known as Lyrically Aware, is a poet, recording artist, and songwriter. They were born in Long Beach, California, and raised in the Inland Empire. She has released a number of musical projects, with the most recent being With You, featuring KK Love. The Winlife podcast welcomes Lyrically Aware to the show. Welcome.
What's up? All right. That was pretty dope. I was like, oh, she sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, you do. And you are. So
yeah. I've actually dropped another single since then, or maybe it was before then, but it's called Get To It, and that's actually a track I love performing now. I got to perform it twice, and it's definitely a crowd winner and pleaser. Everybody definitely vibes with it. So
I didn't see it on Spotify. Did I miss it?
It might have been released before With You. So yeah.
Okay. Maybe that's why. But yeah, I really
like the week before. So.
Okay. But I really like With You. Like that was just a vibe. Who produced that?
It actually was Risk from Risk Takers Radio.
Okay.
Yeah, he did. I dropped an album. It's only available digitally via my website, passionofthelyricist.org. But I released the whole album and he produced the whole thing. I had a couple features, including him, KK Love, AC Wolf, Brody, LX, formerly known as Triggs. And yeah, I think that's it. And it was a very different vibe for me to have features because I usually like to do my entire thing myself. It just makes it easier, especially when you're performing and stuff like that. You don't have limitations on what you can do. at certain times and stuff. But I definitely chose a different route this time and went with some features. But yeah, I dropped that album. I believe it was in May. So yeah, that's where that song is off of that album.
Okay,
I went on a
so
whole little theme
no,
there.
that's what we do here. So we welcome that. Did you already shoot a visual for it, or do you plan on shooting a visual for it?
I do plan on shooting a visual. I haven't yet. The only songs on that album that have visuals right now are GMFC, YCKM, and I believe that's it actually. Yeah, I think I just have two visuals for that album so far. Oh no, and I
Okay.
just shot one recently, actually on Sunday for the intro. I Want to Feel. So yeah, that one should be dropping probably on, well, I should have it on Friday. So I'm not sure exactly when I'm going to drop it, but yeah, I'm
Right.
slowly trying to work my way through the whole album. As an artist, being an artist is very expensive. So it's a process.
Man, who you telling? Why do you think I got into Forex? For real, like just got tired of blowing everything in the music. And as I started
Yeah,
to progress, it was like the
it
opportunities got better, but the expenses got
yes,
higher. And
yes. Like people see people as like, oh, you're an artist. Oh, like you're living the
what's your
life.
budget is their favorite
Yeah,
line.
like not living the life, like this industry is a lot of investments before you ever get any like any reward for that, you know what I mean? Especially with everything being streaming nowadays, like you don't get much profit back.
Yeah, you,
So
you really do have to
yeah,
do it for the love of the craft and then
yes,
approach it with
it,
a business mindset and figure out how
yeah,
to monetize your career in general.
exactly.
So,
So
but I mean,
yeah,
it's not all direct. Like I get a lot of people love me from music, but then whatever else I'm doing, it's like they'll rock with it.
yeah,
So it does reap its rewards in other ways.
that is very true. Yeah, I do dabble in a lot of other things. Like I make like CMOS gels and stuff like that. I do have merch. On top of my cooking, like I do a lot of random shit, and it does help with the whole music. People vibe with my music, and then they see the other stuff I'm doing, and they do want to rock with me. So you're right; it does reap its rewards in other ways. So
How do you
yeah,
put all that together and not stretch yourself too thin?
um, by stretching myself thin. I mean, there's only so much time in the day, even though I feel like time is just a man-made thing, but it is something we all have to live by. So there's almost only so much time in the day, and eventually there are times where I'm burnt out and I just have to crash out for like a day. Um, but I don't know, it's all very worth it. Well, yeah, I just try to make it a routine. So like the all the extra things I do, I try to make it part of my day. Like so I personally take CMOS gel. So when I'm making my CMOS gel, I try to get as many orders as possible. So it's not like I'm making my CMOS gel, then somebody hits me up the next day, oh, can I get some? Like I just try to make it like I set aside, several hours and I just make everybody CMOS gel at once. And then like the merch, I carry the merch around with me all day, every day. Like it's always in my car. So if I'm
How does
somewhere,
the how does the CMOS gel do? I see other people getting in that business. Is it lucrative?
it can be. It's just like any other business. It's all about acquiring a clientele. Um, and that part is, that's where the work comes in.
Got you. So where'd you get the whole hustle entrepreneurial spirit from? Was it family, siblings, parents? Where'd it come from?
So my hustle mentality is definitely, I'm gonna say from both of my parents. But like really watching it go down, I would say it came from my dad. Like my parents have been entrepreneurs. I mean, since I was a little kid. Like my dad had, or my parents had their own trucking company and all that stuff, but my dad never had one stream of income. He was always doing so many different things. and he's so talented at so many things. So just watching him grow up and like just seeing how he navigated life and just like how he could do everything. And when I say everything, like there's literally been nothing that I don't think my dad could do. And that's weird to say because it's like, oh, there has to be something, but I really don't think there is anything. Like the most, I guess, challenging thing would probably be working a computer. But outside of that, like the man can draw, he can create any art thing, he can dance, he can rap, like he can build a car from whatever. Like he literally can do everything. So like just watching him grow up and like just seeing how cool I thought that was, like there was no jam he couldn't get out of. Like, I don't know, it just sparked something in me, like that I didn't even realize was happening. But just as I reflect on my life, like as an adult, I'm like, damn, like my dad had like a huge impact on like how I navigate life now. Like no matter how like down I may be in a situation, like I always find my way out of it. Like I always know there's a way. Like I'm like, all right, like maybe I don't have money this week. There's something I can do. Like I always see an opportunity.
Right.
There's always something you can do, you know, never depend on one source. So I definitely got that from him.
That's
And then
what's
my
up.
mom is very ambitious. She had a lot of goals in life and stuff. So I always, you know, on the education side, got that from her, like be knowledgeable in the things you do. So like kind of watching both of them gave me the business mindset with the hustle, which is, you know, a dope package together.
You
So
mentioned
yeah.
that your father was a engineer or can build a car from scratch. And I think you mentioned that you are an engineer also. Can you kind of tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So yeah, my day job, I am a diesel mechanic, or shop manager now, but yeah, that kind of, you know, sparked from working with my dad, you know, on cars and like his big rig, you know, when I was a kid. So um again, I didn't realize it was something that I would be doing in life. Like I never woke up one day and was like, I want to be a mechanic. Nah, I wanted to be a doctor and an NBA player. Like I had all these random goals, but I just woke up one day and was, you know, ready to change my life. Got tired of what I was into, which was being a waitress, and was just kind of over that. So decided to do a career change and realized that I'm actually pretty amazing at being a mechanic. So I
Was it
kind
because
of,
your dad
you
showed
know,
you stuff coming up? You just knew it already, or like,
yeah, I mean, a lot of it I knew, but obviously on paper, I mean, they're like, okay, you worked on cars with your dad, that means nothing. So I
right.
did have to go to school for it so that I do look appealing to, you know, the career change, you know, trying to
But
get a
you like
job in this
already
industry.
had it like almost in your blood, or
Yeah,
you just grew up around it. So you had
yeah,
that real life
I guess.
experience. You know,
Yes. Because
people look in a book and
school
you know
doesn't
it.
teach you. Yeah, school doesn't teach you anything. It looks good on paper, but it don't really give you um the know-how to implement that stuff in the actual field. So yeah, it was definitely because I worked anytime my dad was outside working on, you know, their cars or his truck, like I was always like eager to go out there and just help them. Like it was good bonding time. Like I loved it. And yeah, now I mean, I can look at stuff. I may have never worked on it, but I'll look at it and I figure it out.
Is your father
And that's a
still
skill
alive or
that you
still
kind
with
of
us
need.
today?
Yes.
Do
Yeah.
you guys ever get to
He
work
is
on a
he is
car or
alive.
stuff like that today?
You know, we don't. And there's been a couple times I pulled up and he's working on his car and I have wanted to, but again, I'm always doing a million things. So I was like, I could come out here, but then I'm going to lose time doing this other thing.
Make
So
sure you
it
make
has been
time,
something I've been
okay?
wanting to do.
Make time, okay? Because that's gonna
Definitely.
be priceless. I'm telling you, just put that on your list, like everything
You're
else.
right.
But
You're right.
that's beautiful. Do you so I have a long list of questions, but I kind of got good at this interview and stuff. So I just say fuck the questions and just flow with it. Do you
I can dig it.
do you plan on like building your own truck empire or buying a bunch of, you know, fleets and stuff like that? Or like scaling up on what you're
You
doing
know,
in that realm?
at one point, um, like up until about a year ago, that was my goal to have my own trucking company. And kind of, let that be the business and kind of get out of working for somebody else, so to speak, and, putting more time into things I actually genuinely enjoy and all my artistries. So,
Right.
but I don't know. I kind of lost interest in it, and kind of had a change of heart just because the industry it's a lot to get into. And I don't know, I kind of just lost the interest in doing it. But I'm not saying it's gone forever, but at the current moment, it doesn't spark my interest right now.
Got you. Definitely, keep it in your back pocket, because, if you have that skill set and if you have those connections, you might be able to put something together. Maybe you don't run the whole company and you're just a partner or something like that. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I see some opportunity for you there too, just to use all that.
Yeah, no,
skills you
it is
got.
a great opportunity for sure. Definitely a great opportunity.
But
And
yeah,
that's really my my whole family, like my whole dad's side, they're all trucking company owners. They all do that. Like I don't think there are some family members that don't do it, but the majority, probably I would say maybe 80+%, all have trucking companies. Like it's definitely in my
wow.
blood to do it.
Wow.
So
Shoot, you might make
not saying, like I said,
the
I'm not saying it's
empire,
gone.
Yeah, you might outdo your whole
Yeah.
family and be like, yep, I got 10,000 trucks across. Y'all know I can see it. So
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, how is it being a woman, Black woman in like, male dominated fields like trucking and, hip hop? Like, what is it like? What is that experience like?
It is definitely an experience. Breaking into the industry was, excuse my French, but a bitch. Like it was a lot. Just being a woman in general, just being a Black person, like you already know, it's about 10 times harder to even break into things. But being a woman and then, like you said, male dominated industry, it was hard. Like going to interviews, people like instantly, like, it's not supposed to be biased or anything like that, but people would actually be like, oh, well, you have to lift such and such. And I'm like, okay, like I can do that. Like they're like, but you're, a woman. They wouldn't like even care or like to be, you know, they were just blunt about it. They really didn't care. So it was a lot of that. There was a lot of, turning me down for opportunities just based off of that. They would see that I had the knowledge of it. They would ask me all the questions. I would pass all their, their questions. It was just they saw me as a woman. And so breaking in took several months, like on countless interviews, countless, applications. It was a process. But once I broke in, um, that was the next challenge. Just people second guessing me, talking shit. Like it was a lot. It definitely, over time, I had to acquire thicker skin, and just, learn to talk shit back. Like, all right, like you can doubt my skills, but watch who continues to succeed. Watch who will show you how to do stuff. And it just kind of had to be a thing that I had to be like, okay, this is this industry. Like it was less with the younger guys. It was more or less like the older cats that have been doing this for a while. They were just like, what the hell is this? Like, so I
Right.
definitely butted heads with a lot of people, got in several arguments. Like it was fun to say the least. But at the same time, like I said, I ended up being that person that got into the leadership roles, who trained up, multiple technicians and stuff like that. And I just pretty much had to prove myself, because just on the face of it, they're like, a woman in this industry, being a Black woman in this industry, like what do you know? So I just took it as an opportunity to show them what I knew.
Right. How were like other women in the business? Maybe, maybe they're not a mechanic, but they're like admin jobs or, more traditional roles for women that you encounter, or like how were your interactions with them? I'm just curious, like how they perceive you. Like, do they like kind of look up to you or like give you the side face?
Yeah. Because I honestly haven't met too many mechanics in the current job that I'm about to get. Like I heard that there's actually a bunch of other females that work there in the mechanic role and as a manager. And I'm just like, holy shit, like I didn't know there was more of me. So I'm excited about that. But coming in contact with admins and stuff like that, parts managers, like they all would just like pull me aside and be like, you're such a badass. Like, that's so cool that you do this. And
I love
like
that.
some of them, and it definitely would give me like some type of fire under me. Like holy shit, like they, like I'm setting like not necessarily a trend, but like I'm breaking through, you know, something like
Right.
this is something dope. Like I got to keep going because I'm opening up a door with other women that we don't even know each other exist in this industry, and we're breaking through this door together. Like, and we don't even know the impact we're making. So hearing that stuff helped me realize like, okay, I got to keep going. And I've went to like a couple open house job fair things where I was like at one of the booths and stuff like that, and I had, you know, other up and coming mechanics that were trying to get into the field, and they would tell me like, holy crap, like you actually, you know, got into this. And I'm like, yeah, like, you know, it's possible. You just got to keep going at it and stuff like that. So yeah, it's definitely empowering. That's the word I'm looking for sure.
Empowering, definitely. How about with more so the youth? Maybe they're not bedazzled by your mechanic skills, but I'm sure they see your music on the gram and stuff like that, and they like look up to you in that regard. Potentially, like how has that been? Like, are you? I don't want to box you in. It's like, are you the role model for the youth, or like?
It like it is
that.
crazy because I am, and it is it makes you have to hold yourself up to more standards because I do have a lot of nieces and nephews, and like the type of music I do, I kind of mold it to make sure that they can always listen to it. I mean, I do have some tracks that, you know, do have like some cussing, but like my first couple albums, I made with like no cussing, no derogatory, nothing like that,
Lyrically
just because
Aware,
I
it's
wanted to
in your
make sure that
name.
my nieces, yeah. So I made sure that, you know, anybody can listen to it. You could be in the car with your kid, your grandma, like whatever. But like on this latest album, I just chose to like let loose and let go and said, you know, kind of, I'm gonna do me for a second, just, you know, just let this flow. But yeah, I'm definitely, all my nieces and nephews look up to me. They love rocking with me. I've actually think I've had almost every single one of them on the mic, like because I have like a little home setup at home studio. So I've definitely got all of them on the mic. I have recordings of all of them. Some of them want to sing, some of them want to rap, like some of them just want to do it for fun, but they all definitely enjoy vibing with me. My girlfriend's daughter, I actually just took her to her first show last night. I had a show out in Lamert Park, and I took her with me. And she enjoyed it on the way out here today. Like she actually was like, hey, when's your next show? Like she was super excited by it. She was vibing so hard. And it was just nice to have her like just rocking with me. And she genuinely was just like loving it. Like I was like, oh, you ready to go? She's like, no, can we stay? Like she just wanted to like listen to the rest of the artist. Like it's just dope and being able to introduce them to like a different life that maybe they're not, you know, gonna have on the day-to-day basis, you know. So
right. And
yeah,
just self-expression, because you know, it's a good tool for the youth to have, even if they don't do rap, maybe they do poetry or fashion, but
draw or whatever. Yeah.
Right. Exposing them
It's
to
okay to
the
be
different
artistic.
things. Yeah. So how long have you been making music?
The first, I want to say like 2006 is the first time I ever like put something on the internet. But I've been writing since I was like 6 or 8, somewhere around there. It's been a long time coming. It started out with like poetry, little like poems and stuff like that, and then it turned into songs. I think I wrote my first song when I was like 8, and I like shared it with my cousins. I was like, what do you guys think of this? And they liked it. I mean, we were all kids though, but
do you remember a couple
yeah,
lines?
that's the first. like literally just the first line.
Let's hear it.
It was like 1, 2, 3, go set this place on fire, set me free. That's all I really remember.
You had cadence already.
And the crazy thing is I had all my lyrics like forever. And then like I've moved, here and there over time and kind of just lost a lot of stuff, which kind of sucks because I still have that in my stuff. So it was in a storage unit. So whoever got my parents' storage unit, they definitely have a book of my shit. So
do you still write all your lyrics out in a notebook?
And I mean, but I would say about 70% of it, yeah.
Or do you type the rest in your phone?
That is just, yeah, sometimes I don't have, I'm trying to not be the bag lady. So I try to bring less stuff with me now. So sometimes I don't have a notebook. So a lot of stuff is in my phone, but I genuinely love writing on paper. Like, it's just something about it.
I've converted to digital 100% now, but it just helps me because I can't see.
It's like,
and like I can't read my writing, and I always adjust stuff and I move bars around a lot. So like it's so much easier for me to type it out now, and I just have a whole notebook. But I love how we all have different ways. Some people don't even write, but
right, yeah.
I gotta write.
My way my memory set up, I can't do that.
Yeah, even if I want to,
I'm gonna forget that shit real quick.
Yeah, and even if like I'll forget the cadences too, so I always will record an audio on my phone because I'll write out a verse and I'm like, what was the flow? Shit, I forgot the whole flow. So like,
yeah, that's the worst.
So always do a voice memo. Always, that's my advice. Like once you write that verse out, just go on your phone and go to voice memo and just spit it because we spent a lot of time, putting that together.
Yeah. I've been trying to do that more recently because there is a lot of times I write this whole thing and it fits perfectly and it's beautiful and I love the way it sounds. And then I go record it and I'm like, why ain't this shit working now? Like what? How did I say this?
And some people are like,
trying to make myself do that.
Yeah, I know some people are like, let me go record it right away. I can't sit on it, but because they're going to forget it. But yeah, that's what I found. Just, record your voice memo. And like, if you want to work on the song for a whole year, and that's fine. But yeah, you got to record it to remember the cadences because there's no way you can do it with your writing. You could do it for like one song. Like even me, I'll go in the shower and I'll think of that hook. And then like 10 minutes later, what was that? What was that flow? So like,
that part.
Yep, that part. People don't talk about that.
Yeah. So and that's my thing. I always want to smack myself because I'm always like, oh, I'll remember it. Like I'll come up with something dope and I'm like, I don't have anything to write on at that moment. And I'm like, I'll remember it. Don't like I got it in there. I'll say it a couple times and then I'll go to write it down. And I'm like, fuck, what did I say?
Yep, start filling up that voice memo. And you never know, like not to be grim, but we never know when we're gonna go. So like, maybe you don't get to record those songs, but when we pass or whatever we're working on, we have like all these recordings that were left for people. So just kind of like a way to, as an artist, to just cement stuff. It's just, it's a different lifestyle when you think about it. Like, when you're a real lyricist and you are putting out these words for people, to just leave a mark on society while we're here, anyway. Let me ask you this.
That grim, like I find it to be reality. Like it's just a nice way to think about stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I am. That's how I feel too. And I lost my mom when I was 13. So I did have like it just made me realize like life is not forever. And like, this is a finite experience. Not saying like, I know time doesn't exist. I know the soul is infinite, but I mean, in this Elwin avatar, what is this avatar gonna, leave on the world? And that's actually when I started writing, was when I was 13. And my first recording was on the internet at 03. So I got you beat by a couple years, but we both veterans in the game. So, and I guess I'll share my first rap that I didn't record when I was little was my cousin said, tic-tac-toe, 3 in a row, Barney got shot by a G.I. Joe. And I thought he actually made that up. he was, you know, plagiarizing. And I was like, but then he got back up, grabbed his gun, started having some fun or something like that. And I think the first track I recorded was, I said, I never found enough reason to hustle. Before a positive vibe, I'm down to tussle or something like that. It's trying to sound like Rakim.
Okay. Nah, but that sounds hard. That sound, I gotta find that. Is that out on the internet?
Hell no, that's on the internet. That shit belong in 1988. But can you describe your process of turning emotions into words and sound?
It kind of just depends on the vibe of creating. So like I'm a poet first is what I like to tell people, because that is where my root came from, poetry. So depending on the vibe, like some of my work starts out as a poem. Like I'm legit writing like spoken word out. And then I realize that's a dope ass track. Like I'll hear a beat and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm a flow this. So it kind of depends. And then more of my vibey stuff, that's just me turning on a beat and being like, oh, I'm feeling what I'm hearing from this. And then I create, something more vibey. Some tracks I can write out in 30 minutes and other stuff may take me over a year. Like sometimes I'll start writing something and then I don't know, it might like create too much emotion within me, or I just feel like I'm just expressing too much. So I'll like cut myself off and then I can't continue. So I'll just leave it be. I have a notebook full of half finished things because I wrote it. I know there's more that needs to be said, but I wasn't in that place to finish it in that moment. So I'll come back to it later, read over it. And sometimes I'll continue where it was going, or sometimes I'll read it and it'll spark something else in me and I'll kind of divert it to wherever it's going. Like anybody who kind of listens to my stuff realizes like there's layers to the things I'm saying. Like some people, like some of my tracks, some people are like, like it may be, I can't think of the word I'm looking for, but like a blanket statement, so to speak. But anybody that's like as an open mind and actually listens, they'll realize like there's layers to my stuff.
Right, like everything is everything.
Yeah.
Have a whole entendres and stuff on that. I'm just giving an example.
Yeah, but pretty much like there's definitely layers to it. So my process is kind of all over the place. Like sometimes I go in the studio and I'll be like, I just want to create today. And then start with the sound or start with the melody. And it's like, all right, I hear what you're doing. Oh, okay, I hear what you're doing. And just create from that. And sometimes I have something specific I want to get off my chest and just kind of go from there. So there's no like definitive like way I go about my process. So
how does
your it's a little complex.
How does your art and creativity, creative expression affect your mental health? Or like, have you noticed you use it to like help you through stuff? Or
yeah, I definitely started writing poetry to kind of as a outlet. I'm not always the most like talkative or expressive person, but through my music and poetry, like I definitely am very expressive.
I'm here.
If I was to sit in a room with people, if I don't vibe 100% with your energy, like I'm not going to be that talkative. And sometimes even if I am like vibing with you, I'm just not that talkative at times. Like I could sit in a room with somebody, like me hanging out with somebody can sometimes be like, all right, let's just turn on some TV, let's just chill, listen to music. Like I don't really want to have a conversation. So writing poems and poetry, and like I'm also a photographer, like just taking pictures, like that is my creative expression. That's how you can learn a lot about me, because I'll definitely say more in my art than I will in life most of the time. Like, so yeah, I definitely started writing to be more expressive. Like I was a very quiet kid. I had a book in my hand and headphones on my ear pretty much 24/7. Like if we were going to the store, I did not leave without my camera, my Walkman, not to date myself, but and a book, like and a notebook. So I did not leave the house with those things. So we'd be walking in the store. I had my headphones on. I'm just listening to music, dancing down the aisles. Like I was always in my own world for sure.
So what are your plans for your music career for the next 5-10 years? What's the trajectory? Where do you see you headed?
Honestly, like I genuinely do this for the love of it. Since the beginning of the time, I was, people were like, oh, what do you want to do with it? And I'm like, honestly, just create art. And if people rock with me, they rock with me. Like, I'm not looking for a huge fan base. I mean, at the end of the day, yes, that's how I would generate a substantial profit from it. But I don't have like you know, I'm trying to do these big shows, tour over the world, stuff like that. I just want to keep rocking shows and just, connecting with souls. So,
But you're open to it,
yeah.
right? If you got asked to go on a world tour.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to turn it down. It would be more
But you're not going to
complex,
sell your soul for
since
it.
I do have like a whole career. I'm definitely not going to sell my soul for it for sure. No,
We know a lot of people that will.
I will create music to the day I die. Yeah, no, that's not me. I've had opportunities to do stuff. I know people in the industry. I'm not looking really for that. I mean, would it be dope to tour? Hell yeah. Like rocking shows is amazing. Like there's something about the energy, just the whole vibe and all that stuff from rocking shows. I love it with a passion. Like I always tell myself, okay, this month I'm gonna take off. And it's never fully successful. I may not take on many shows, but I always end up taking, like this month I was supposed to take off. And I think I've rocked 2 shows. No, I think it's been 1 so far. And I had another one, but I'm gonna try and stay strong and not do it. But it's very hard to like turn down shows because I genuinely love something about it. Like I said, I'm not very like get up in front. Like I'll get up in front of people and like clown and like make fun, but like being serious, like I'm not. It takes a lot out of me. So, but something about getting on stage, like I turn into a whole nother person. Like I love it. Like people are like, wait, that's you? Like what? You're super energetic. I don't get it. Like this is not how you are in real life. I'm like, I don't know.
Same for
Something when
me.
that mic hits my hand, when that mic hits my hand, I'm on. So yeah, I wouldn't turn down the opportunity for sure. But yeah, definitely not going to sell my soul for it.
So do you ever get stage fright? Or just like you get nerves before you perform?
Every time.
So
Like,
you over here getting high off the stage. I know what you're doing. You getting that adrenaline rush, then you get all high, then you done, you all sweating and you relieved. You know,
Yep.
I know that feeling. It feels amazing. And it's like,
It really does.
it's like, the dog got to get walked so they can go lay down. Like that's how I be feeling.
Yeah.
Like, got to get it out your system. So, I mean, I got to get
Yeah.
back on my shows. I've taken like a year off or longer. And I need to get back in the routine for sure. So I look up to you, like just staying consistent with it for sure.
Yeah, I have to. Even during COVID, like I was rocking all the virtual shows and stuff like that. That opened up a whole new like world. Like I was pre-COVID, I think it was like 2017 when I had moved out of state. Like I had asked my sister, a couple of friends, I'm like, yo, like if I do like a live, like would you like tune in? Like if I did like a rock show, like just rock the show from my house, like would you tune in? And they're like, yeah, I mean that sounds pretty dope. And then
You
it was
do
just
it on
always an
YouTube?
idea in my head. No, like on IG live and stuff like that. So I did that like once or twice, but then the pandemic happened and that was like the only way to rock a show. So like I had a dope idea and I should have executed on it before it was like just a thing, but that definitely opened up a whole new world. Like it gave a wider fan base.
So what importance do you place on marketing and promotion though? Because I know it's not everything to you, but we know you have to make, if you have a product or, music, you have to make the masses aware of it. So, what is that? What is the importance you place on that?
Mostly I just try and stay as relevant as possible without oversaturating myself in the social media world. I used to be pretty heavy on marketing, like doing campaigns and stuff like that. But again, it gets expensive. And if you don't, do all the demographics and stuff like that proper, it can be kind of a waste of your money. But
Right.
I mostly just try and, post strategically. And I do have several different IGs for all of my different outlets because I don't want to saturate people who want to listen to my music with my photography, and the people that want to look at my photography, I don't want to saturate them with my cooking and my gardening, and then the people that want to rock with my merch. Like, so I have, different accounts for all of those things. And I kind of, I do intermingle them. So like, if I am cooking, I will try and use my own music in it. So that'll be like a marketing technique so that I own the whole content. It's me cooking. It's my music in the background, so nobody can monetize off of that but myself. I try to rock some of my merch sometimes so that, you see the merch in the video. Like, I kind of try and strategically just intertwine them that way where it doesn't seem like, all right, she's just throwing all her stuff on me. It's like, no, I'm just rocking my clothes. I'm just listening to my music. Like, so that's kind of my marketing strategy.
To make it seem organic, or just actually be organic, I should say.
Yeah, for it to actually be organic. Like, I rock my own gear. Like, if I'm not rocking it, that's what I like to tell people. If I'm not rocking my stuff, why do I expect you to rock it? If I'm not listening to my own music, why would I expect you to listen to it? Right. Like, if I'm not eating my own sea moss gel, why would I expect you to eat it? Like I said, right. I try to make all of my stuff that I do in my life. So like, these are things I do. So it definitely is on an organic tip, but it's
so you're
also
really selling
like,
a lifestyle.
Not. Yes, that's the most perfect way to put it. I actually had talked to my friend about that. Yeah, I was like telling them like what my goals and stuff were, and they're like, "So you're trying to sell people the Sade experience?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, that's a beautiful way to put it. Like, yes, like I'm not like, it's not like something narcissistic. Like, these are the things I do. Like, rock with me, So yeah, I'm selling me as the experience."
Okay. Well, I want to say thanks for having you on the show. We're going to be sure to be checking for all your music, but not just your music, your other projects, your other businesses, and we will definitely be following your career. And hopefully we can do a follow-up interview maybe next season, the season after, and just kind of check in. But before we go, is there anything you want to share with us, upcoming projects, or a project maybe you're promoting heavily now, or just a cause or anything you want us to kind of know about? And we'll be sure to share the links in the description.
Yes. I forgot to mention that on top of all of those things, I'm also newly a professional football player. So definitely tap in with the LA Legends. Literally just Google LA Legends or go on YouTube or Instagram, and follow us, follow the journey, follow the WNFC. And yeah, women's football is definitely taking over. So tap in. But outside of that, some projects I'm working on. I'm currently working on a project. I'm looking to have about 10 to 12 tracks, but I'm working on a project with Master Green. I know you know him.
Yeah, we interviewed him last season.
Yeah, I was actually listening to his interview. So yeah, I have a whole project that I'm working on with him. That's kind of been my focus right now. We're about 4-5 tracks in, so halfway there. So look out for that. And then just kind of tune in to Get To It. That's a track I'm just really pushing right now because it's definitely feel good. It's motivating. Just kind of makes you want to get to it, wake up and just, push through and grind. So tap into that. And yeah, just stay on the lookout for music videos that I'm dropping. And the ones that are currently out. So yeah.
Am I on the Master Green project, the song we did?
You are.
Maybe.
And that one, that's a whole ass vibe. And yeah,
hopefully I'll make the cut.
Oh no, it's already, yeah, that one's in there for sure. That one's in there. That's a whole vibe. So yeah, that one's called I didn't even change the name of it. It's called Breakthrough. So definitely look out for that track. definitely going to be having a music video for that. So yeah,
Can't wait. We're gonna have the curls popping.
that part, that part.
So the
So,
last question, and I'm gonna let you go. And thank you for everyone that made it to the end. We had some technical difficulties, but I don't know if y'all could even tell with the edit. But either way, we persevered through this interview and we had a blast. But last question for you is, what does winning at life mean to you?
damn, that's a good question. Winning at life, I would say, to me, that just means being able to get up and do what you love. Like life can be very stressful at times and trying and put you through some stuff. But if you can throw in the mix, doing something you're passionate about and genuinely enjoy, it makes life, that much more pleasurable. It makes you be able to enjoy it. So I would say winning at life is being able to incorporate a passion, being able to just do something you love and make it feel and be worth it. Yeah.
Wow. Yes, I agree. Just giving that meaning and purpose to life for sure. And you fulfill it. And that gives your life meaning in itself. So
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for sharing. Had to get those profound words out of you. And hopefully that will just resonate with all the other listeners. And you are our first woman guest. We didn't have one woman last season. So you always trailblazing. And we actually have another, we're going to be interviewing another woman. I don't know if you know Fabs, or she's an author and she's on the music scene as well.
Oh,
and,
yeah, I do know her.
Yep. And she's an entrepreneur just like you, and just another trailblazer. So just want to thank you, want to give you all the flowers while you're here, and just say thanks a million times.
I appreciate that. And again, thank you for having me on here. Like, this was a dope conversation for sure. So I appreciate you.
All right, everyone, that is this episode. And thank you for tuning in to the end, and we'll see you next week.